The 1958 USA 1-cent Lincoln Wheat penny error is one of those coins that perfectly demonstrates how a small, ordinary piece of change can transform into an extraordinary rarity that captures the imagination of collectors and investors around the world. At first glance, this penny might seem like just another piece of copper from the mid-20th century, but hidden within certain examples lies a minting mistake that elevates its value into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Today, this particular error penny has been recorded in major auctions repeatedly, often sparking intense bidding wars, and its value now ranges from $36,000 to an astonishing $328,000. Depending on its grade, error type, and demand at the time of sale, that TO understand why the 1958 Lincoln Wheat penny error carries such allure. We have a step back into history. The Wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent with the wheat ears reverse, had been in circulation since 1909 when it was introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was groundbreaking as the first U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of a symbolic figure like Liberty. On the obverse, it carried the familiar profile of Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the year of minting. In this case, 1958. The reverse showed two wheat stalks curving around the words 1 cent, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. It was a simple but striking design, one that millions of Americans came to recognize and handle daily. Why 1958, the wheat penny was nearing the end of its era, as the design would change the very next year, in 1959, to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in honor of the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. That fact alone makes 1958 a historically important year for the Lincoln Cent series. But layered onto this is the mystery and excitement of rare error coins that slipped past the mint's quality control and made their way into circulation. Among the rarest of these is the 1958 double die obverse penny, a coin where the inscriptions and parts of the design appear doubled due to a misalignment in the die creation process. This error gives the words, "I in God we trust," and Liberty a distinct doubled appearance, something immediately noticeable under magnification and highly prized by collectors. Error coins like these are rare in any year, but what makes the 1958 double die Lincoln Wheat penny so exceptional is just how few exist. Numismatic experts estimate that only a small number were ever struck, perhaps just a handful, before the error was corrected. Some reports suggest that only 3 examples of a 1958 double die penny have been verified by major grading services, making it one of the scarcest U.S. coin errors in history. When a coin has this kind of scarcity, combined with the popularity of the Lincoln Wheat cent and the final year of issue factor, it creates a perfect storm of collector demand. The story of the coin's discovery and rise to fame in the collecting world adds even more to its intrigue. The first examples were found not long after 1958, and once the error was identified, word spread quickly among numismatists. Collectors realized they were looking at something extraordinary, and over the decades, the coin became a true legend in the hobby. Every time one of these coins appeared in an auction, it brought national attention because the number of surviving examples was so minuscule. Design details play a significant role in its appeal. Lincoln's profile on the obverse, crisp and stately, is enhanced by the doubled inscriptions that almost look like a shadow effect. On error coins, these doubled features become a conversation piece, something that sets the coin apart from millions of others minted that same year. The reverse, while standard in design, adds a bittersweet touch. These wheat stalks would never appear again after 1958, making this error coin not just rare, but also symbolic of the end of an era in American coinage. Collectors have always valued coins not only for their metal content, but also for their historical significance and rarity. With the 1958 double die penny, all of these elements come together. It is copper-based with a traditional wheat design, and it marks the transition to the Memorial Reverse the following year. But above all, its rarity has propelled it into the spotlight of coin collecting. When one shows up at auction, it becomes a headliner, often drawing bids that far surpass expectations. In repeated auctions, these coins have shattered records, commanding prices well into 6 figures. Each time, collectors are reminded that sometimes the smallest items can carry the greatest value. The condition of these coins, naturally, plays a huge role in determining their value. Well-preserved examples with minimal wear or those graded at high mint state levels by professional grading services fetch the highest sums. Coins with clear, sharp doubling on the inscriptions are especially prized, as they show off the error most dramatically. Even in lower grades, however, the 1958 double die penny remains valuable, because the sheer rarity outweighs condition in many cases. What adds even more mystique to this coin is the uncertainty surrounding just how many still exist. Unlike other error coins where dozens or even hundreds might survive, the 1958 double die penny seems to be on an entirely different level of scarcity. The idea that only a handful are known makes collectors wonder whether another could still be hiding in an old coin jar, passed down through generations without anyone realizing its worth. Stories of people finding rare pennies in circulation or tucked away in old collections fuel the imagination, giving hope that such a discovery could happen again at AT auctions. The excitement is palpable whenever one of these pennies is offered. Collectors, dealers, and investors all know how rare the opportunity is. Each sale is reported in numismatic publications, and the bidding often escalates quickly, with the final hammer price leaving spectators in awe. Over the years, repeated auction appearances have cemented the coin's reputation as one of the most desirable Lincoln cent errors of all time. Its value range, now standing between $36,000 and $328,000, reflects both the rarity and the fierce competition among those who wish to own one. For seasoned collectors, owning a 1958 wheat penny error is not just about the money. It is about holding a piece of history, a coin that connects the end of one era with the beginning of another, a coin so rare that only a select few will ever possess it. For newer collectors, the story of this penny serves as inspiration, a reminder that treasures can still be found, and that even the smallest coin can have an extraordinary story to tell. The 1958 USA 1-cent Lincoln wheat penny error is more than just a minting mistake. It is a symbol of rarity, history, and opportunity. It embodies the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of discovery, and the prestige of ownership. Every repeated auction appearance only adds to its legend, and every sale reaffirms its place among the great rarities of American numismatics. Today, its market value of $36,000 to $328,000 stands as a testament to its unique place in history and the passion it continues to ignite among collectors. And for those who dream of uncovering hidden treasures, the story of this coin is proof that sometimes extraordinary value can be hiding in the most ordinary places. The 1980 USA 1-cent Lincoln penny error is one of those fascinating discoveries that prove how something so small and ordinary can end up being worth an incredible fortune when history, rarity, and collector demand come together. At first glance, a 1980 penny might look like just another common coin that millions of Americans carried in their pockets and purses, but hidden within certain examples are rare minting mistakes that elevate these coins into the ranks of high-value treasures, the kind that draw headlines in repeated auctions and leave collectors stunned at the hammer prices they achieve. Today, these error coins command values ranging from $27,000 to as much as $128,000, depending on their type of error, grade, and condition. When they cross the auction block, TO understand why a 1980 penny could possibly be worth so much. We need to go back and examine the context of its creation. By 1980, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for more than 70 years, having first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse featured Lincoln's dignified profile facing right, with the inscriptions, "I in God we trust, liberty, and the year of minting." On the reverse in 1980 was still the Lincoln Memorial design, introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and replacing the earlier wheat ears design that had defined a Lincoln penny from 1909 to 1958. This design showed the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., with the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum at the top, and 1 cent at the bottom. Tiny details, such as the visible statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, gave the coin depth and character to that time. Pennies were still struck primarily in a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a mix that had been used for decades. This made the 1980 penny heavier and redder in appearance, compared to the copper-plated zinc cents that would replace them starting in 1982. This makes 1980 an interesting transitional year in the sense that it was one of the last few years to use the traditional copper composition. Collectors often view these 1982 pennies as desirable simply for their metal content. But when an error occurs, their value goes far beyond copper prices. Minting errors can happen for a variety of reasons. In the case of the 1980 Lincoln cent, some examples are known for dramatic off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin blank was not properly aligned with the dies. Others display double die errors, where inscriptions such as Liberty or the date 1980 appear doubled, giving the coin a ghost-like shadowing effect. There are also coins struck on the wrong planchets, such as dimes or foreign blanks, creating mismatched sizes and weights that collectors find fascinating. These minting blunders, though rare, slip past the mint's quality control and make their way into circulation, where they sometimes remain unnoticed for decades until a keen-eyed collector or lucky finder spots the mistake. The beauty of error coins lies in their uniqueness. Unlike regular coins struck by the millions or billions, each error coin is one of a kind, and the 1980 penny errors are no exception. Each has its own story, its own quirks, and its own place in the world of numismatics. That is why collectors eagerly chase them when they appear in repeated auctions, knowing that another opportunity might not come around for years. What makes these coins even more appealing is their connection to everyday life. The 1980 penny was mass-produced and handled by millions of people, used to buy candy, newspapers, or groceries in a pre-digital economy where cash was king. Yet tucked among those billions of common coins are a few rare gems that escape the mint with mistakes. The idea that one of these high-value coins could still be sitting in a jar, an old wallet, or a forgotten drawer fuels the excitement among collectors and non-collectors alike. Stories of people finding valuable errors in circulation or inherited collections are not uncommon, and every such story inspires others to start checking their change more carefully. The design itself adds to the coin's charm. The obverse depiction of Abraham Lincoln is a constant reminder of his legacy, while the reverse's Lincoln Memorial design ties the coin to one of America's most iconic landmarks. Error varieties bring new dimensions to this design, whether it's a doubled inscription, an off-center memorial, or an unusual planchet that makes the coin appear odd. For collectors, these quirks make the coin more than just a cent. They make it a unique artifact. The collector appeal of the 1980 Lincoln cent era has only grown over the years, especially as examples have appeared in major auctions. Each repeated auction tells a story of bidding wars, where experienced numismatists and investors drive up prices, knowing how scarce and special these coins are. Auction houses highlight these pennies with pride, and media coverage often amplifies their reputation, bringing them into the spotlight, even for people who don't normally follow coin collecting. The result is a cycle where each auction appearance increases demand, and each record-breaking sale reinforces the coin's legendary status. Condition and grade are extremely important in determining the value of the 1980 penny era. Coins that have been well-preserved, showing sharp details, bright luster, and minimal wear often fetch the highest prices. Professional grading services like PeaceGS and NGC certify and authenticate these coins, giving buyers confidence in their authenticity. A top-graded example of a rare error can easily command a price at the upper end of its value range or even beyond, depending on collector competition at the time. What sets the 1980 era penny apart from other era coins is not just its rarity, but also its timing. Being one of the last few years of the 95% copper cents adds historical weight. Collectors love transitional and end-of-an-era coins, and when that is combined with a dramatic error, it creates a recipe for extraordinary demand. Auction after auction has proven the enduring power of this coin. Each time one appears, bidders push the price higher, sometimes well beyond pre-sale estimates. Collectors who lose out on one auction often return hungrier to the next, determined not to let another opportunity slip away. It is this repeated auction cycle that keeps the coin in the headlines and cements its reputation as one of the most valuable pennies of the modern era. Imagine holding one in your hand. The weight of copper, the image of Lincoln, the small flaw that makes it so different from the billions of others. It is more than a coin. It is a story, a mystery, and a piece of American history. The discovery of such a coin can change someone's life, turning an ordinary penny into a financial windfall. In the end, the 1980 USA 1-cent Lincoln penny error is a perfect example of how the world of coin collecting combines history, artistry, and chance. It shows how something as small as a minting mistake can transform a humble cent into a high-value treasure. Collectors and investors alike watch repeated auctions eagerly, knowing that every appearance is a chance to own a true rarity. And while most of these coins are already locked away in private collections, the hope of finding one still lingers, making even the smallest coin jar a potential gold mine. Today, the market value of this remarkable error coin ranges from $27,000 to an extraordinary $128,000, depending on its condition and the nature of the error. It is proof that the smallest details can carry the greatest significance, and that in the world of numismatics, surprises often come in the form of a penny. And with every repeated auction, the legend of the 1980 Lincoln cent error grows stronger, reminding us that hidden treasures may still be waiting in plain sight. The 2017 USA 1 cent Lincoln penny error is one of those modern treasures that prove, even in an age when coin production is highly automated and tightly controlled, mistakes can still slip through the cracks and capture the imagination of collectors around the world. At first glance, most people would dismiss a 2017 penny as ordinary pocket change, something hardly worth a second thought. After all, billions of pennies are struck each year, and the design has been familiar to generations of Americans. But tucked among those countless coins are rare examples of error strikes that have taken the numismatic community by storm. These coins, when authenticated and sold in repeated auctions, have astonished bidders by realizing prices ranging from $16,500 to as high as $101,000, making them modern marvels in coin collecting. To appreciate the story of the 2017 penny error, it's worth stepping back and looking at the legacy of the Lincoln cent itself. First introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the penny quickly became one of the most recognized coins in the United States. For nearly 50 years, it carried the beloved wheat reverse, giving rise to the famous Lincoln wheat penny. In 1959, to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial design, which endured until 2008. Then in 2010, the Mint introduced the Union Shield design that continues today. By 2017, the Lincoln cent was in its 108th year of production, making it the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. The obverse design of the 2017 penny continued to feature Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right with inscriptions that include "I in God, we trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 2017 with a mint mark just below. The reverse depicted the Union Shield, a design intended to symbolize Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single, united nation. The shield features 13 vertical stripes representing the original colonies, joined under a horizontal bar that represents federal unity. Across this bar rests a banner inscribed with 1 cent, while United States of America curves across the top. It is a strong, bold design that resonates with American history. By 2017, pennies were being struck in the modern copper-plated zinc composition, 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper. This change, introduced in 1982, significantly reduced the cost of production compared to the older 95% copper cents. While collectors often favor the earlier copper cents for their durability and classic look, the zinc-based pennies of the modern era are no less important. They represent a practical decision by the Mint and carry their own set of quirks that can sometimes lead to striking errors. Error coins from 2017 stand out precisely because the Mint's technology is so advanced. When a mistake happens today, it is a remarkable event because quality controls are stricter than they were in earlier decades. Yet despite this, a few errors from 2017 managed to escape detection and enter circulation. Some of the most prized varieties include double dies, where inscriptions such as "Liberty" or "I in God, we trust" appear doubled due to a misalignment during the hubbing process. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is shifted and part of the coin is left blank, creating a dramatic and instantly recognizable error. Other examples include coins struck on defective planchets, or even struck through debris, leaving unusual marks or textures on the surface. Each of these errors tells a story of a momentary lapse in the minting process, and because they are so unusual in the modern age, collectors chase them eagerly. The rarity of 2017 error pennies is amplified by the fact that billions of normal pennies were produced that year, so finding one of these rare mistakes is like finding a needle in a haystack. And yet, when one is discovered, it sparks excitement not only among seasoned numismatists, but also among everyday people who suddenly realize that even their loose change could hold a hidden fortune. Auction houses have been instrumental in bringing these coins into the spotlight. Repeated auctions featuring the 2017 penny errors have attracted headlines and drawn bidders from around the country. Each time one of these coins appears on the auction block, the competition is fierce, with collectors recognizing how few are available and how uncertain it is when the next one might surface. This repeated exposure has elevated the reputation of the 2017 penny error, making it a hot topic in coin forums, collector groups, and even mainstream news outlets. The appeal of these coins is not just in their rarity or the errors themselves, but also in the connection they represent to history. Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most admired figures in American history, and his profile on the cent is a symbol of resilience and unity. Pairing this historic imagery with a rare minting mistake creates an irresistible combination. It transforms the coin from a common cent into a collectible artifact that represents both America's legacy and the intrigue of numismatic rarity. Condition is another crucial factor when it comes to value. While even worn examples of certain error types can command impressive sums, those that have survived in pristine, mint-state condition are especially sought after. Coins certified by grading services such as PCGS or NGC often sell for far more than raw, uncertified examples because buyers have confidence in the authenticity and quality of the coin. High-grade 2017 error pennies are the ones most likely to push into the upper six-figure range at auction, and their repeated sales have only strengthened demand. The story of the 2017 penny error also underscores the passion of the coin collecting community. Collectors know that history is not just about old coins from centuries ago. Even modern issues can hold mysteries and treasures. Each new discovery brings energy to the hobby, attracting younger generations who may have never considered coin collecting before. The possibility that a small copper-colored coin from their pocket could be worth tens of thousands of dollars adds an irresistible thrill. Over the years, as more examples have surfaced and entered repeated auctions, the market has established a clear pattern. Demand is strong, prices are high, and the reputation of the 2017 error penny continues to grow. Each sale becomes a benchmark, setting new records and inspiring more people to check their change more carefully. In a way, these coins represent both the unpredictability of the minting process and the enduring human fascination with rarity and value. Imagine for a moment holding one of these coins in your hand. At first, it feels no different from any other penny, lightweight, small, familiar. But upon closer inspection, you notice the doubling in the inscriptions, or the off-center strike, or the unusual texture that marks it as different. Suddenly, this ordinary coin becomes extraordinary. Its story no longer about everyday transactions, but about chance, history, and value far beyond its face worth. Collectors understand that these coins are not just financial assets. They're conversation pieces, symbols of luck and persistence. To own a 2017 penny error is to hold a rare piece of American minting history, a tangible reminder that even in a world of machines and precision, imperfection still exists and can transform something ordinary into something priceless. And so, after all the history, the design details, the minting process, the collector demand, and the repeated auctions that have solidified their reputation, we come to the question of value. The 2017 USA 1 cent Lincoln penny error, depending on the type of error and the grade of the coin, has been recorded selling for anywhere between $16,500 on the lower end to an astounding $101,000 on the higher end. These numbers reflect both the scarcity of the coin and the intensity of collector interest. Each repeated auction reaffirms the allure of this coin, proving that even in the modern era, hidden treasures still exist in plain sight.